Please like this video. It will really help this story reach as many people as possible. Thank you so much for your support. Miami? This weekend? Pass. Jenna said without looking up from her phone. I'm not in the mood for your fixes. Beaches are a fix now. I set the mug down, watched her thumbs keep moving. 2 nights. Sunday. No laptops. You used to like that. She finally glanced up. You used to take a hint. Which hint is this? The one where you act bored or the one where you forget you're married? She snorted. Mark, don't start. I've got a long week. I'm tired, and I don't need your guilt trips about vacations. Good. I wasn't offering guilt. I was offering sand. Go alone, she said, pushing back from the counter. Or take Nate. He likes your little plans. She slid her phone in her purse and left. Door. Car. Engine. Gone. The house sounded like a hotel hallway after checkout. If I'd known where it was headed, I'd have spent less time pricing airline tickets and more time installing the deadbolt. I kept telling myself it was a phase. Everyone hits a slump. New project at her firm, my hours at the shop, schedules crossing like bad traffic. Still, the basics used to be there. Eye contact, a hand on the shoulder, a question about the day. Now the basics were gone. She became air in the same room. The first real shift came a week later, Thursday night. Neighborhood cookout behind the townhouses. Plastic tables, kids running with chalk on their hands. Our neighbor Felix playing amateur DJ. Jenna arrived late, hair perfect, face set like a meeting had gone long, and I was the meeting. I handed her a water. Hydrate, I said. She took it, didn't drink. You didn't wait for me to get a plate? We've been here 2 hours. I offered you ribs. You texted don't care. Across the yard, Felix's wife, Lila, waved. She's loud, laughs at everything, but she watches people. She waved me over to help move a cooler. Jenna followed, but not with me, with her phone. Another smile to a screen. Lila leaned close while we shifted the cooler. You two okay? We're excellent, I said. World-class excellence. She cocked an eyebrow but didn't push. Jenna drifted over, looked me up and down like I'd spilled sauce on a suit I didn't own. Can you not hover? She said. Standing near my wife at a cookout is hovering? Don't be dramatic. Go talk with your tool friends. My friends with hammers? I will. I turned to go, but Felix stepped into the pocket between us. Hey Jenna, try the corn, he said. I'm not hungry, she said. I'm fine. Everyone relax. She said it loud enough for nearby faces to swivel. I put my hands on the cooler, gave it a nudge to the shade. That's when she added, breezy as a weather app. He gets clingy when he's had a busy week. It's cute. Felix winced. Lila didn't. She set her cup down and looked right at Jenna. Easy. It's a joke, Jenna said. I missed the punchline. I cut in. Maybe run it by me before you do crowd work. She rolled her eyes. Here we go. No, we don't. I kept my voice flat. You want space? Take it. I'm done babysitting the empty chair next to me. What does that mean? It means I'm leaving early, I said. You came late. We'll call it even. I set my cup down, said a quick bye to Felix and Lila. As I walked past the kids' chalk cities on the concrete, I texted Nate. Change of plans. Weekend open. He replied. Poker. Tomorrow. 7. Bring your patience. I brought cash instead, and a rule for home. No more waiting dinners. No more checking if she's almost there. I printed a small list and put it on the fridge. Our money, split. Our calendar, separate invites. Groceries, by your own preferences. I didn't announce it with a speech. I just did it. Jenna saw the list the next morning, opened the fridge, spotted the labeled bins. She tapped the paper with a fingernail. What is this? Boundaries. You labeled yogurt? She laughed. You're petty now? It's not petty. It's simple. You've got your lane, I've got mine. No collisions. I'm married, not a roommate. Start acting like married. We'll review the title. She closed the fridge harder than necessary. I'm not playing your little control games. No game. The game was me guessing what mood you're in so I can avoid being mocked in public. I retired from that league. She stared, then tried another angle. You're punishing me because I don't want to go to Miami. I don't punish. I reorganize. She shook her head, grabbed her keys. You'll get over it. I won't, I said to the door after it shut. That weekend I played cards at Nate's garage, which doubles as a gym and a place where projects go to die. He's been my friend since high school, The kind of guy who listens until there's a problem, then starts moving furniture. She's distant, mouthy, acts like you're a coat rack, he said, tossing chips into the pot. You're doing the right thing with the split. Make home quiet for you. It's quiet, all right, I said. He watched me fold a decent hand and didn't comment. After a few hours, he put the cards down. Get professional ears on this, Mark. Not a therapist. A private eye. You think that's necessary? I think you won't sleep until you know why she's behaving like a stranger in your house. You need facts more than hope. I'm not going to snoop. You're not. You're going to hire a licensed adult to record public facts. Then you'll do what you do best, build a plan. I drove home at midnight, stared at the porch light, and decided. Monday morning before work, I called a small agency Nate recommended. A man named Torres met me at a diner off the highway. He was efficient, bored in a useful way. What do you suspect? He asked. I don't do guesses anymore. I do data. Fine. I'll watch schedules, social media, plate readers, places she says she is. Give me a week. Do it. Payment plan simple, he added. You'll have a file. You won't like it. Nobody does. I'll live. You will, he said, like he actually knew. Back home, I kept my own plan. I stopped chasing. I stopped Sunday brunch reservations no one showed up to. When Jenna came home, I'd nod. If she came home, when she spoke, I answered, just not with a sales pitch for us. 3 nights later, she got home past midnight, heels in hand, hair pinned in a way I hadn't seen since we were dating. She smelled like a restaurant I couldn't afford when we were young. You could text, I said, rinsing a glass. She shrugged. You could mind your business. Home is my business. God, Mark, you suffocate. I need air. I told you. Work dinners. Work dinners don't send you home smiling at ceilings. You're policing my face now. I'm done policing anything. I'm giving you your air. That includes not playing concierge. She glanced at the couch where a folded blanket and my laptop Saturday. You moved to the couch? Sometimes the bedroom's empty. Sometimes I like quiet. I'm not reporting to you. She stood there, ticking through all the standard plays. The bite, the dismissive laugh, the sigh. Then she chose something new, a soft voice. Okay, she said, coming closer. Maybe I've been harsh. Work's a mess. I take it out at home. I'm sorry. It landed like a feather on concrete. Thank you, I said. She touched my arm. Let's reset. I can make breakfast tomorrow. That'd be new. See? She forced a small smile. Not everything is ruined. It's not ruined, I said. It's reorganized. I slept in the bedroom. In the morning there were eggs on a plate and a mug by my chair. She sat with me, looked at headlines on her tablet, not at me. Every few minutes she'd glance up and try an opening line about a funny email, a client, a bad meeting. I responded like normal people do. She tried. I'll give her that. It lasted 2 days. On the 3rd day the eggs were gone, replaced by a note. Late. Don't wait. That was the end of the warm front. It confirmed what I already guessed. The softness was a tactic to stall my boundaries. I didn't remove a single label from the fridge. Torres called on day 7. Got the file, he said. When? Now? I can email, or you can pick up a print. Email. Sending a link. Password's your phone number backward. I opened it at my desk at the shop, behind a door with a window that looks out over a row of lawn mowers waiting for service. It contained timestamps, photos, and parking lots, 2 dinners that were not work dinners, and a recording from a restaurant booth where my wife's laugh sounded like an actor imitating her. The man with her had a name and a new condo. The recording wasn't long. It didn't need to be. In between ordering and ordering more, she said the quiet parts out loud. About paperwork. About cleaning me out. About how I'm tired and won't fight. I paused the audio and stared at the wall. The first thing I felt was relief. It was clean. There would be no miracle scene, no late speech about lost spark. There would be a process. I like processes. I called a lawyer I'd met through Nate's gym. Calm voice, calm office across from the bank. Her name is Patel. She listened without interrupting, then asked for the file. I sent the link. This isn't about you being a saint, she said after a while. This is about you not doing anything dumb. You will be tempted to blow it up. Blow-ups are for people without torque wrenches, I said. I'm serious, Mark. Keep normal. Sleep where you sleep. Pay the regular bills. Don't move money. Don't fight. If she pushes, you redirect. You can't give her anything to work with. We'll take steps quietly. What steps? We do paperwork first, she said. You keep your tone steady. You'll want to swing. Don't. I'll call when it's time. I sat with that. You think she knows I know? Not unless you tell her. And you won't. I won't. I'm sending you a checklist, she said. Follow it. 1 week. Then you'll breathe. I thanked her, closed my laptop, then met Nate after work at his warehouse, where he fixes motorcycles as therapy. How bad? He asked, wiping his hands on a rag. Bad enough to be simple, I said. Then it's clean, he nodded. What's your next move? I do nothing, I said. Which is a move. Exactly. We didn't high-five. We went back to machines. At home, that night Jenna didn't show. At 10 she texted. Late. Don't wait. At midnight, nothing. At 2, nothing. In the morning, she buzzed through the kitchen, grabbing a blazer. You're not even going to say hi? I asked. I'm late. For life. Don't do that. I said I'm late. Right? I said, rinsing a pan. You're very late. She froze for half a second. Then she decided I was too boring to fight. You're insufferable, she tossed over her shoulder. Yet here you sleep, I said, mostly to myself. The days blurred. She became a shadow timed to my patience. I worked, paid bills, did reps at Nate's, kept the fridge split, and waited for Patel's call. I lowered the temperature of my replies until she had nothing to bounce off. Let me pause the story for just a second. If you're still listening, please hit the like button on this video. It really helps YouTube show this story to more people. Thank you so much for the support. Now let's get back to the story. She tried again with a smaller softening, an invite to a colleague's birthday at a lounge. I said I'd pass. She acted offended. Why? Because I don't go places where I'm a prop. You're overreacting. I'm reserving my time. She went without me, came back with glitter on her shoes and a comment about how fun it was not to have to explain jokes. That line sat on the table between us for a full day. Friday morning, I got to the shop early, finished 2 jobs before 9. My phone buzzed. Jenna, I'm with the girls for a weekend trip, her text read. Back Monday. I'll explain later. I almost laughed. We were past explanations. I forwarded the text to Patel and added, I'm about done. She called immediately. Breathe. Actually, we're ready. Ready? I finished what we need, she said. You've been steady, you have a file, and you've kept your head. If you want to show some spine, now's the time, but keep it vague. No details. No threats. That's the first fun thing I've heard in weeks, I said. Then make it count. I stared at Jenna's text. I typed back. Okay. My attorney loves stories. He'll love yours. It took 10 minutes for the calls to start. First 1, then 3 in a row, then an unbroken chain. I let them ring out, asked my foreman to cover, and drove home. I pulled out a stack of boxes from the garage and started folding her things. Clothes, shoes, makeup caddy, framed prints she insisted we hang even though they never matched. I labeled each box with her name and a number. Nate came by without being asked. Need a hand, he said. I'm good. You want company? That too. He held boxes while I taped. I texted Jenna's mom. Jenna's things are coming over this afternoon. Someone home. She replied with a string of question marks. I ignored them and loaded the truck. Patel sent a short message. Keep it factual. At noon, Jenna's calls turned into texts. What did you do? What attorney? Mark, pick up. Then threats. You can't do this. Then bargaining. Can we talk? I answered none of them. I drove to her parents'. Her dad opened the garage. He's a quiet man who always looked like he'd rather be fishing. What's going on? He asked. Change, I said. Boxes go here. She'll fill you in. Is Jenna okay? She's on a trip. He helped me stack boxes anyway. He didn't ask again. On my way back, I stopped at the hardware store and bought a new set of locks. I installed them slowly, like a ceremony. By evening, the call log looked like a fire alarm. I set my phone face down and cooked a steak. When I finally checked, there were 40 messages. I blocked her number. Nate looked at me from the bar stool by the island. You sure? He asked. I'm done hearing her panic, I said. You're not done. You're in control. That's the word. We ate, watched a game, and said almost nothing. I slept through the night like it was a profession. Monday after work, I turned onto our street and saw 3 neighbors pretending to water plants. Jenna was on the porch, arms crossed, hair in a travel braid, expression designed for juries. There you are, she said immediately. Open the door. Why? Because this is my house. It was our house, I said, walking past her to the steps. Now it's my house. You threw me out because I went away with friends for 2 days? Are you hearing yourself? I slid the key into the new lock. I made a decision. Mark, stop. You're being absurd. Open the door. Not going to happen. She raised her voice like she was calling a taxi in a storm. So this is it. You punish me because I needed space. I looked over at Mrs. Carter from down the block, who was watering the same patch of geraniums for the third time in 5 minutes. I turned back to Jenna. You wanted space? I said. You've got it. You can't. I can't. I cut her off. Your things are at your parents'. You're not coming in. She put a hand on the door, leaned in. You are acting crazy. No. I removed her hand. Not rough, not soft. I'm acting in my own interest. Let's talk inside where people aren't. I'm done talking inside. I'm done talking outside. The answer is no. She laughed without humor. So that's your big move? Lux, my big move is me, I said. And I just moved. I went in, closed the door, and made dinner. She pounded for a while. I turned on the radio. She shifted from demands to complaints to a long speech about broken vows spoken at a volume for the whole street. Then it went quiet. An hour later, a thud of something small hitting the door and rolling, probably a key from her ring, dropped in dramatics. It didn't matter either way. 2 days later, a courier delivered a packet to her parents' address. Simple language. No scenes. She didn't text me, couldn't. She found me instead at the shop parking lot on Thursday, cornering me between a pickup and a van as I carried a toolbox. How could you file? She said, voice already wet. I love you, Mark. What happened to us? You'll have venues to present statements, I said, setting the box on the tailgate. Use them. We're not strangers. We can talk like adults, she said, catching my sleeve. You don't throw away a marriage over a miscommunication. You mistook me for easy, I answered. That's the miscommunication. Stop with the lines, she pushed. You're not a robot. Tell me what you want. I wanted respect, I said. You wanted an exit package. Her face changed in a second, theater mask snapping from sorrow to steel. Fine, if that's how you want it. It's how it is, I said. Then you'll hear from. I already have representation, I cut her off. We'll handle it through the process, like you wanted. She stepped back. As you wish. As I require, I corrected. She left. I stood there with the toolbox and felt nothing that required a drink or a speech. The next weeks were boring the way honest work is boring. Paper, calls, Patel telling me what to sign and what not to say. The recording existed. I didn't have to be loud. Whatever rooms reviewed it made their decisions quickly. There was no dramatic day with microphones. The outcome arrived as an envelope and a calendar entry that removed a line from my life. I didn't post anything. I didn't announce. I changed my routines. Monday, poker with Nate. Wednesday, run with Felix, who pretends to be slower than me until we hit a hill. Saturdays, I worked on my truck. At home, the fridge list came down. There was only one name left to label. A week after the process closed, Lila saw me loading lumber into the truck and walked over. You look lighter, she said. Change the locks on my piece, I said. She smirked. We all heard that porch scene. You kept it clean. Respect. I try not to feed the crowd, I said. She nodded at the bundle of cedar. What's that for? Deck. New chairs. Fewer arguments. Good plan. That night I grilled on a tiny metal rectangle that had served us for years. I ate at the new table I built out of oak, with a chair on each side that didn't wobble. It was the sound of wood done right. It was the sound of a man doing a life without commentary from someone who resented existing within it. Fall came. Work stacked up in a good way. I picked up a side gig consulting on equipment for a landscaper who wanted to stop guessing what broke and why. It paid well and got me out in the morning air. Nate introduced me to a friend of his sister, Claire. She runs a small dog rescue and appreciates practical jokes, but not at other people's expense. She has that calm that isn't fake. We met for coffee, then a movie on a Tuesday because Tuesdays are honest. She asks questions and listens to answers without digging for weak spots. I didn't tell her the play-by-play of my past. She didn't ask. She just watched how I treated a barista, and I watched how she treated a stray that wandered near our table like it owned the place. One Saturday morning, I was installing the last board on the new deck when Jenna's dad drove by, slowed, and parked. He stepped out, hands in his jacket. "Nice work," he said. "It's square," I said. He looked at the cedar, then at me. "She's staying with a friend for now. Thought you might want to know." I figured. "She's not thrilled." "That tends to happen when plans don't cash out," I said. He hesitated. "She made her choices. You made yours. You handled your end like a man. Appreciate that." He sniffed at the air. "Smells like you're about to cook. You're welcome to a burger." He considered, then shook his head. "Another time." He got back in the car and drove off. I watched the road for a second, then finished the board. The only time I heard Jenna's voice again was a voicemail she left from a different number months later. I let it sit for a day before listening. "Mark, it's me," she said. "I know you blocked me. I get it. I'm sorry. For everything. I was stupid. I was angry. Never mind. I hope you're okay." There was a pause, then a softer line. "You were a good man. I didn't deserve you." I didn't call back. There's no prize for relitigating the past with someone who treated you like a temporary employee. Claire asked me once, very simply, "What do you want the next 5 years to feel like?" "Quiet," I said. "Built, not bought. Fewer explanations." "Doable," she smiled. "I'm better with dogs than people most days. But I bring snacks." "I value snacks," I said. We drove out to a lake one Sunday and ate in the bed of the truck. Nate swung by later with his kids, and we set up a little game with cones and a football. I noticed I was laughing and not watching the horizon for a storm that looked like my front door. One night in early winter, Felix and Lila hosted another backyard thing with heaters that half worked. A few new neighbors asked where Jenna was in that cautious way people ask when they already know. I shrugged. "She took her space," I said. "I took mine." "And you're good," one of them asked. "I'm better than good," I said. "I'm me again." Felix raised his cup. "To deck chairs with no drama." "To labels coming off fridges," Lila added. "To poker nights that don't require clearance," Nate said. We clinked plastic and laughed. Then we went back to living. If anyone wants the secret to coming back from a house gone cold, here it is. Stop begging the thermostat to change. Build your own heat. Put your mind on the next board, the next mile, the next step that belongs to you. Get quiet. Make rules. Enforce them without a monologue. People call that harsh. It's not. It's honest. The last message I sent Jenna, months before the number block made it impossible, was 4 words and a period. She had texted another line about being adults and talking like normal people in a way that treated normal people like props. I read it once, deleted it, and replied, "We're done pretending. Goodbye." I didn't add a speech. I didn't gift her a dramatic goodbye scene. My last act was doing exactly what she never did, treating me with respect. I opened the door, not for her return, but for my exit. I walked through, and I didn't look back.